Welcome home, all. You are now on a special edition and an ongoing forward edition of SuperMex Nation on a Sunday afternoon. Something of a bit of a wrap-up for the week and a look back at the past week and then what to be aware of and what you need to know. Armed with information, armed with tools going forward into the week because, like I said, on the political end, which will be from now on the Sundays, not the Fridays. The Fridays we're keeping as cheap date night, tag that track, TV, music, movies, all the good stuff that actually allows people to come together and not have to be ripped apart politically because you have major differences. And I think that's, I'm compartmentalizing, but I do believe at this point it's an absolute necessity to compartmentalize because if we don't, and it's all politics all the time, then we're probably going to rip each other to shreds, and not in a good way, by the way. So from now on, going forward, on this day, it will be specifically political and even more, with more specificity, in particular, foreign policy and our nation's foreign policy. I'll go on record now, and I know I've said that and said this before at a variety of times on the show. We as a country have lost, and in a nebulous fashion, we've lost a grasp and a comprehension of not only what foreign policy is, but what our foreign policy actually is going forward. So much so, and I've said this a bunch of times on air, that we have no clear, defined, articulated vision and plan for our nation's foreign policy going forward since the end of the Cold War, since the fall of the Berlin Wall, and since the breakup and dissolution of the former Soviet Empire in the form of the Warsaw countries that were broken up and went to freedom. It's going to segue into what we're talking about tonight, because as I posted today we're dealing with, and in a scholarly fashion, with a little bit of hoorah here and there, but in a scholarly fashion, we're going to break down, and in the layman's terms, for those of you out there that you don't have, and I'm going to say it, it has nothing to do with whether you are smart enough or capable enough cognitively, intellectually, to understand and deal with the current Ukraine scandal and what it means and how you go forward in understanding. That isn't the case. It has nothing to do with where you're at and how capable you are, unless, and here it goes, unless you put in loads and loads of time in the form of not just listening to cable news, talk shows, etc. Not just doing that, but ladies and gentlemen, reading. Really, really simple. You have to read a lot to stay on top of what's going on right now, to have a full, clear, personal understanding of the Ukraine scandal. Because it's multifaceted, it's varied, it's comprehensive, it's in depth and breadth a lot. It's not as simple as one item, okay, or one thing done. Although there is a one thing done that is comprehensible. Absolutely. That is there, and we're going to speak about that tonight. So that's what tonight is about and what tonight is for. So much so that I'm giving up my Sunday and I'm asking my homeboy KP to give me his Sunday so we can put out something legit, honest, straight, and clean. Nothing I say is a falsehood. Nothing I do is untrue. It's all fact, factual. Does it have a bent? At this point, it does. I am moving in a direction because I can no longer sit there and try to articulate a message to you that is neither one or the other. It's real simple. If something's done that is wrong, it doesn't matter if you're Democrat or Republican. It doesn't matter if you're left or right. It doesn't matter if you're conservative or liberal. Wrong is wrong. And unfortunately in this country, we Mickey Mouse and we play with the truth, and we make wrong not as wrong. We make wrong, in some cases, right, believe that or not. Or we obfuscate, deny, prevaricate, all bunch of cool SAT words, and we find a way to not make it as bad, or we find a way to make it not as bad for our guy, our person, our people, whatever. We don't do that here. I never have. I've been fair, honest, open. I believe in a free, egalitarian society where everybody gets their fair shake. Insert joke if you'd like. But I do believe that. I absolutely believe that. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't be alive today talking to you now about heady issues and heady matters as such we're dealing with today. So try to keep this as simple as possible. I'm going to try to do it in a shortened fashion because it'll be a lot, and I have a tendency to continue to talk on whatever issue, but I'm going to try to make it a little more concise tonight so that you walk away after today, after tonight, you're going to walk away and fully understand we're dealing with serious issues, and we better understand what's going on to make good, informed decisions. Okay, so first things first. The Ukraine scandal, Ukraine issue, Ukraine Gate don't work. I mean, that's the Watergate was the situation. Then now if you have an issue, you attach gate to the back end of it, and it's supposed to make it more serious. Not the case, not at all. So this is what I've got for you to open up. In totally straight fashion, right? If you're having political problems, I feel bad for you, son. You've got 99 problems. Ukraine's number one. You get the joke and the reference, but that quite literally is the case. Nothing right now is more significant, and I don't mean in news coverage, ladies and gentlemen. I'm talking about serious substantive issues. This is the issue. It is serious. And there's no way we get around it. So what I'm going to do is begin by telling you that there are things that you need to be aware of, okay? There's no proclivity one way or the other. I mean, with some serious, not sadness, because I don't get sad, but some serious depression and some hurt that we are in a situation, in a place where something wrong is no longer wrong because it doesn't fit where we sit on the continuum. This is my team, that's my team, and in the meantime, there's no Team America. There's no Team America. So if you're on the right, or if you're a Republican, you're going to say the Democrats are bad because they're bringing up articles, actually not quite. They're bringing up an investigation, inquiry into impeachment. There are no articles. There is no vote on the floor. It's an investigation into what has happened and what has been going on. Okay? If you're a Democrat, You're not happy with Republicans, at least Republicans, if not the president for the item committed, but with Republicans in general, because there are no other Republicans that are actually standing up and saying, hey, you know, that's a problem. We need to do something about it. They're all quiet, with a few exceptions, but it's not been strong. And they're going to side with the president because he's the Republican and he's their leader, and they're going to side with him no matter what. And reminder that he did say that he can walk out on Fifth Avenue, shoot somebody, and they would still vote for him. For the first time in my life, I may believe that now. I'm at that point where I may believe that this is the case. In dealing with my friends that are both Republican and Democrat, I'm hearing that. And on air, weekly, nightly, definitely daily, I'm seeing that now. That we have no boundary anymore that you can cross, that you can't cross and pay a penalty for. That's a problem, because that's not our country. That's not America. And I'll argue that with anybody. With anybody. So disclaimer before we get into the meat and potatoes of the item, carne con papas, that's what we're talking about tonight. Carne con papas, that's meat and potatoes. The disclaimer, if you have issue with anything I say tonight, I'm telling you right now, I'm lying about nothing, because I've never lied to you in hours upon hours, perhaps hundreds of hours of on-air time. I have never lied and never been called on the carpet for something I said because it was untrue, ever. Now, I'm not about to start now. You know my line. It's a little too late in the game for me to be espousing that method. I don't do it. So I will not lie to you. I will only tell you the truth. And then when it's all over and done, you got to make your decision. You're American. You make your damn decision based on fact. Okay? And if you still don't want to see it, then that's on you. All right? Because by the time we're done tonight, in my close and wrap up, I'm going to reiterate the point that I'm going to make at the start of this show. History, ladies and gentlemen, my area, my wheelhouse. Not as much as some, but more than most. I'm a former history teacher. I've grown up with the subject. I believe in the subject. I believe that if everybody understood not just this country's history, but everybody's history, then we would make far less and have far less mistakes committed if everybody truly understood their history, their own history. We wouldn't have as many problems. But I'm going to say this, and I want this going out to you, and I want you to understand this crystal clear, with crystal clarity. History is a cold, ruthless, and emotionless mistress. What does that mean, other than some cool words to throw along with history? I love history, ladies and gentlemen, because it is all that. A cold, ruthless, and emotionless mistress. That's what she is. When she comes back and takes a look at the times that we're living in, and she puts out her view of what history is, there will be no emotion. There will be no sides taken. There will be a cold, calculated assessment and analysis of what we are doing and what we are living right now. 5 to 10 years from now, I want to know that when I went on record and my son or my daughter or their grandkids go back and they look and they see their grandfather articulating what he believed at the time, that he did so from the perspective of knowing his past, knowing his present, and knowing our future. That's what we're talking about tonight. This is history. No hyperbole. This is fact. These things will be written about, and they will be written about with people that have no vested interest or no emotion, and they're going to put it down on paper. And some of you are still going to be alive, and you're going to look back at a time where you said to yourself, wow, I can't believe that I was part of that. I can't believe that I okayed that. More importantly, I can't believe that I didn't stand up and I was afraid to be counted because of political wins. I'm not. I always view my decisions and what I do through the filter and the lens of how history will judge me and how history will judge the times that we're living in. Absolutely. Absolutely what I believe. History, a cold, ruthless, and emotionless mistress, is viewing us right now. And I won't be on the wrong side. You got my word on that. I will not. So, a few things. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts of it. Okay, meat and potatoes are this. We have on record currently a whistleblower A whistleblower means somebody that's coming out and blowing the whistle on items or things that he or she saw that are wrong, illegal, unethical, immoral. Okay? That's where we're at. You have a whistleblower complaint about things said and things done by the President of the United States regarding our foreign policy and the Ukraine in particular, a sovereign nation, former part of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, the USSR, and our dealings with that foreign power. Okay? That's at the crux of it. So let's get you some nuts and bolts. Nuts and bolts, meat and potatoes. Okay, meat and potatoes here. Quid pro quo. Quid pro quo. It is a Latin term, quite literally meaning what for what. At the heart and the center of it is this. What for what? Did the president ask for something in return for something? Okay, so if you leave it on that surface right there, that's really, really simple. Because the reality and the cold hard truth are, every president does that. That's the very nature of foreign policy and diplomacy. You try to get something out of them, they try to get something out of you. You do it however you need to do it, but so long as it's not illegal, unethical, immoral, right? And then you can insert whatever you want there. But that is quid pro quo. It's a Latin term. It means what for what. And I would say that that's probably why this whole situation has been running with some serious legs lately, is because people, generally Americans, understand quid pro quo. Even if they don't even know literally the definition from the Latin Vulgate. They don't even really understand what the wording is because they don't speak Latin. But that's what it is. What for what? What are you asking me for? What do you want in return? That's what America understands. If you ask me for something, what do I got to give you? That America understands, and I will say that's why this story has had legs and continues. I'll get to why it has even more legs in a second. Here it goes. So, at the core of it, the president asked the Ukraine foreign head, in this case Mr. Zelensky, he's the president of the Ukraine, a new head of state, a new president, for political information, dirt, it is that, information, political background, political corruption charges, political whatever, on Joseph Biden's sons, Joe Biden's son, the front-running candidate for the Democratic Party nomination, and he wanted information on his son. So let me debunk that little mess in a hurry. That is a sidebar, and that is obfuscation, it's deflection, to try to make you focus on what Hunter Biden did. Now watch this, so you know I'm absolutely truthful. $50,000 a month, that's crazy. That's crazy. I've seen it, and I've heard all of it. There is nothing they did that was illegal, meaning Hunter Biden, and that's been confirmed by multiple sources in the Ukraine, including the prosecutor. This all shook out over the last 2 weeks, and I kept silent about it because I wanted more information. I wanted to gather and make my decisions. Here's my assessment as I put that to the side. Here's my assessment. Hunter Biden getting $50,000 a month, and supposedly the allegation is millions of dollars. That's kind of crazy to me. Did he get it because he was so great or so good or whatever? I don't know. I don't think so. On air, putting it on record. But it was claimed and put out and specified that it was not illegal. They were cleared of charges. Okay? Do I think it's right? At the very least, I think you would say something unethical happened. And then you run with that and decide how that fits into your narrative. Okay? I do think something unethical is there. Not illegal. Immoral is a different thing. Unethical, you can understand. Okay? So, no question that, hell, I'd like to get that $50,000. If it was Martinez, I probably wouldn't have got the gig, right? Most of America wouldn't have got the gig. I think you understand that. So here's where I'm going to go with this. I'm going to put this one to rest and put it to bed, because that has been a principal argument of the president and the president's sycophants, is that, Joe Biden and his son are bad and evil because they did this. So keep your eye over here on Joe Biden, not on what the president actually did. That's what they want you to believe, and that's what they want you to do. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do both. But reminder, I've told you a long time ago, I am like a bulldog once I get my jaws on an issue. You can choke me, shoot me, beat the hell out of me, but I'm not going to release. I can sidebar and I can move this way for a second, which I'm going to do right now, but I will not release on this issue because this one's far more important, far more significant. You want to talk about corruption? Let's talk about corruption. Let's put it on the table. Hunter Biden, if those of you that are sycophants for the president and believe everything he tells you no matter what, even though you know he lies all the damn time, then go fry Hunter Biden. If he did something illegal, go ahead, do it. You ain't hurting me. You ain't breaking my heart. Corruption's corruption wherever the hell it is. Now that I've said that and now that it's on air, do what you got to do. If the kid did something wrong, fry him up, shake him and bake him, move him on. Do what you got to do. Now that that's done, now you understand where I'm at and how this is nothing to do with partisan on my end. I don't give a damn whether you're Democrat or Republican. You do something wrong, you fry. One way or the damn other. So do what you got to do there. Now that that's done, because that's been a principal talking point, do what you got to do. Fry up Hunter Biden if he did something illegal. Do it. Go ahead. Focus on that. But you're being disingenuous and dishonest if you think corruption here removes you and removes corruption over here. That's not right. I'll spell it out. That's wrong. If you can be okay with hunting corruption on one end, but not hunting and rooting out corruption on the other. I'm doing both. You have me on record. If Hunter Biden did something illegal or wrong, fry him up. Do what you got to do. Now that that's done, let's focus on the main issue. The main issue is the president. Because Hunter Biden is some son of a former vice president. The president is the president of the United States right now. That's what we're dealing with right now. In other words, who's the bigger fish? This one. And I don't think Trump America will disagree with that, right? I think you'll like that because I said it. He's the bigger fish. Okay? The bigger fish doesn't get away. No, by far no. Okay, here's the other thing that I've heard, debunking this too, that the whistleblower, and this I do have a problem with, whoever it is, he or she came forward, saw something that they felt was wrong or incorrect, and immediately the president and his people attacked somebody they didn't even know. And I'll never forget this. He said he's a partisan hack. He's this or that on the other side. How the hell do you know that if you don't even know who he is or she? If you don't know who they are, then how do you know they're partisan and they're out to get you because they're Hillary lovers or whatever? You don't know. You're just throwing out there red meat to your base so you can rile up your people and get them angry and get them confused so they can hate this side while excusing your behavior. While excusing your behavior, your misconduct. Wrong answer. You can throw meat out there. I don't run like a dog. I stay focused on the meat and potatoes. Okay? And that's a fact and reality. Hearsay, and this is what I heard. This is what I heard. I heard that it was hearsay, therefore it can't be truthful. What I heard was not that it was hearsay and that there were, here's what hearsay means. Hearsay means that, in layman's terms, hearsay means I heard something from others, they saw something or they said something. And then I'm saying something about it now. That's second or third hand knowledge, okay? Principally in the complaint, and I did read the whistleblower's complaint. I've read 448 pages of the Mueller report. I've read 20-something of the text messages, and I've read the 9 pages of the whistleblower complaint. I've read them all. The whistleblower complaint stated that some of it was hearsay and some of it was firsthand. Some people focused on the second hand and say, oh, it's hearsay. It was both. So it wasn't just hearsay. Some of the information was firsthand. But for the sake of argument, even if it was, what I heard immediately was, if it's coming from multiple sources, not firsthand, then ladies and gentlemen, you have other multiple sources out there right now. And lo and behold, yesterday, last night I believe, and then into today, we have a second whistleblower coming forward that has firsthand knowledge that can corroborate, confirm, and verify the first whistleblower. And I'm going to guess they're going to attack this guy too, he or she, female or male. I have a feeling there's going to be more than one. There might even be more than two. They're going to be male and female. Because this is kind of what happens in these types of scandals. More than a few people know. And then it boils down to who's going to pipe up and say something or hide. I think we're seeing now, second person coming forward, a second person that's verifying, confirming, and corroborating, notice how I use the legal term, corroborating things that the first person said. Now, I didn't open my mouth a week and a half ago because I wanted to see what happened. A lot of people did open their mouth. Oh, hearsay, it doesn't count. Oh, hearsay, it doesn't matter. And now it's not just hearsay anymore. It's corroborated by firsthand information, firsthand sourcing. So what are you going to do now? Find another person to attack? Find another way to attack? My guess is yes, because that's what you do in the political world. That is what politics is. That's what you do in the political world. You find a way to get away with it. Okay? So there's your hearsay argument. Joke. It's garbage. It isn't hearsay. It's confirmed and corroborated information by somebody that is going to come forward and speak directly to Congress. Let me run there for a second. In addition to that, let's make sure we're 100% clear. Congress, Article 1 of the Constitution, not Article 2, the first branch of government. The first branch created, the first branch thought of, and the first branch empowered by the Constitution. These homeboys over my shoulders. Okay, the first branch of government. They have the not just right, but the responsibility and duty, according to the Constitution, of oversight of the executive branch and other. That's their responsibility. If they don't do anything, then they are not abiding by the Constitution. If they just allow things to go on, if they just allow this president or any other president to get away with stuff, to get away with things illegal and immoral and unethical, then we've got a problem, which is the case in which we are now. We do have a problem. It's Congress's responsibility. Now, the Congress is two houses, two forms of the first branch of government, the legislative body. The House of Representatives, 435 members, and the Senate, 100 members, 535 individuals total. Those two separate and distinct legislative bodies that make up the whole, Article 1, that is the first branch of government, have the responsibility of checking and providing oversight to the executive branch under Article 2. That's their responsibility. So any of you out there that don't want them investigating or asking questions, you're wrong. You want to talk about Constitution? And I've heard a lot from people about how we love our Constitution. You love the Constitution when it's applicable and appropriate for your needs. That's when you love the Constitution. I swore an oath and I sign off, and some of you guys never really got this. You wonder why I sign off with my hand up. I'm not waving at you. I'm not doing a beauty pageant thing. I sign off because I swore an oath to the Constitution, and every time I raise my damn hand, I obligate myself personally. If you didn't understand this or you didn't know this, I'm letting you know now. I obligate and further confirm my responsibility to the oath that I swore when I was 18 years old. I believe in the Constitution. I don't believe in individuals. I don't believe in leaders that tell us all what to do. For the record, I've only had one clear loyalty to any president in the history of my life, and that was the president under which I served during the time that I was in the Army. But once I left the Army, that moved on. And then I was disappointed repeatedly by multiple presidents over many terms and many, many years, to the point where I don't trust any president anymore. I genuinely wish them well, and I hope they do well, because if they do, then that means our country prospers, hopefully. But I don't trust any of them. And it's Congress's responsibility to enforce their role of oversight. Something to consider, because it hasn't been brought up, and I think it needs to be brought up. Many of these things have been going on for a while now in this current administration. Where was oversight by the Republican-led Congress? There was oversight during the last administration, because I know that somebody sent me a message today sending me a message that Hillary Clinton, who lost the last election, had to testify for 11 hours on the Benghazi situation because there was Republican oversight, because Republicans controlled both houses of Congress. So they brought her up and they asked her questions and they jumped on her. And they should. They should do that. See how this goes? It's got to be good for the goose and the gander. Okay? Fast forward to now, Republicans controlled the House and the Senate for the first 2 years of the Trump presidency. The first 2 years. Where was oversight? Let me help you out. There was none. Absolutely no oversight. And where they're at now, continually backing away, continuing to refuse answers, definitely not in the Senate. The ones in the Senate are a little smarter. They know better than to open their mouths so that they don't get held to record later when all this stuff blows up and comes out, and now they're going to be answerable for their words. The ones in the House are little attack dogs. They just run because they've got nothing better to do and because they're sycophants and they're going to do what they're told. Not swearing the oath to the Constitution, but doing what their party tells them to do. That's where it's at. So Congress, do your damn job. Both houses, House of Representatives and the Senate. You're obligated and responsible for that. Okay, a few more nuts and bolts. You know what a quid pro quo is. You know that there's been a whistleblower that it came forward and put forward that the president asked and attempted to solicit, not attempted, he did. He solicited help, assistance from a foreign power, from a foreign government, the Ukraine, President Zelensky, to help him find information on Joe Biden, his chief political rival, the front runner of the Democratic side, and his son, Hunter Biden. That is a quid pro quo. Now, the legal end is going to try to find ways that it is not. But ultimately, they're running that method, and here's some original thought for you. They're doing that because the Department of Justice that resides under the executive branch, through their OLC, Office of Legal Counsel General Memo, does not believe that you can indict or charge a sitting president. So they're not going to do it. It doesn't matter what he does, they're not going to do it. So that it does fall to Congress to do something about it, because the Department of Justice will not do anything. The president can walk out on Fifth Avenue, blow somebody away, and his people will vote for him anyway. And the Department of Justice, because of their memo, their internal memo, they cannot bring charges against the president. So he can literally do whatever the hell he wants, at least within the context of the executive branch. At least within the context of the executive branch. The only thing that we've got to rely on outside of that, Jane America, is Article 1 and the Congress to do something, because it is their sole responsibility to check an executive branch. That is their responsibility. So I'm saying that because not only did that come out in the whistleblower complaint, but the president admitted it on national TV. He admitted it, that he did it. And everybody's staggered and like, wait a minute, he just said it. He admitted it because his thinking is, in release of the memo, and by the way, the transcript that he released is not the full transcript. It has been read. He was on the phone with President Zelensky for 30 minutes. The transcript doesn't go past 12 or 13 minutes. Where's the rest of the info? They released what they wanted you to see. And it always comes out, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm telling you. If you're a hardcore Trump supporter, hey, I got nothing but love for you, and I'll support your right to believe so. But don't run out there and running your mouth and saying that everything's clean and cool. Because you're going to get way ahead of yourself, and then you're going to find out later that there's more information, kind of like now. There's more information every day, and you keep walking back. There's no more space to walk back. We're there. My point is, take all the facts in. Get all the information, and then make your decision. But don't jump out in front of the bus and say, hey, Mr. President, I'll take it for you, because I know you do the same for me. Right, Mr. President? Yeah. Yeah, Joe America. Mr. Donald Trump would gladly take the bullet for you. He would gladly take the bullet for you if you were in danger. He would gladly serve this country for you. Go fight for you. I'm being facetious, and you understand why, because it's deadly serious. He won't. Be careful. Those of you out there that support the president, I don't disagree with your right to do so. I would die for your right to do so. What I'm telling you is to continue to take in information, and don't just follow the damn herd. Don't follow the flock of sheep. Make your own decision. Take in all the information. Don't just follow somebody because they are your team. If your teammate is willing to sell you up the river, why the hell are you on that team? I'm not even telling you go to the other team. Why not be Team America and just make your own damn decisions? That's what I'm telling you. That's far more significant. You have to take in facts. You have to take in information. You have to hear everybody out. You have to sift the fact from the fiction. You have to get into the meat and potatoes and remove the garbage that is wrong. The stuff that you know is clearly wrong. That's your responsibility and obligation as American. That's what you should be doing. Okay, a few nuts and bolts in addition to that. The second whistleblower came out within the last day or two, confirming and corroborating everything the first said. The president has gone on air and has specified that he did seek help and more. So don't take my word for it. I'm getting a little high speed now. I actually put some time and energy into this for tonight, because don't just take my word for it. I'm going to give you facts. I'm going to give you directly from the horse's mouth, or in this case, two horses, what they said themselves. We're going to run that in a video format so you can get yourself what it is we're talking about. So let's go ahead and cut to that first one, KP.
This is basic stuff. Foreign donors and certainly foreign governments cannot participate in the American political process.
Video of Mike Pence condemning foreign governments' interference.
Go ahead and cut. Okay, so that's the first one. That is our Vice President, Mike Pence, stating openly that foreign governments cannot, should not, must not interfere in our elections. That's the Vice President. You heard it there. Those are his words, not mine. I agree with them entirely. I agree with them 100%. And if anybody does it, Democrat or Republican, get them all. Okay, but we're talking about the sitting Vice President and President. Their own words. Okay, so stay with me now. The Vice President has said that, stated it openly. Now he's walking that back and trying to cover, because he is also implicated and might also be culpable for things that have been done in Ukraine, because he had knowledge. He had knowledge and awareness of what was going on in paying to play and trying to get the Ukraine to give us information, to give the president information on Joe Biden, because we held over their head nearly $400 million in financial and military assistance to help them fight Russia on their borders. That's a fact. The money was appropriated by Congress, was supposed to go to the Ukraine. By the way, they're in a war. They're in a hot war. They've already been jacked. Their country has been gobbled up in pieces. The entire Crimean Peninsula has been taken forcibly by their neighbor, Russia. See how that works? Ooh, it's all coming back to me now, right? Taken from them because they are the weaker neighbor. I'm going to stop here for a second before I move on to my next video, the videos that I'm going to show you, because I want to draw some clarity here. This is meat for you, ladies and gentlemen. Carne en papas. The Ukraine is a struggling, fledgling democracy. They are trying to be a democracy. They are trying to move to the West with us good people. I'll say it, because that's what I fought against. I fought against communism. All you people running around talking about socialism, communism, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Go fight against it. Go sit there and watch as your counterparts stand guard on the Berlin Wall, facing you, ready to shoot you. Or watch rows and rows of T-80 tanks come down the Fulda Gap, ready to blow you away. Don't talk to me about communism, socialism, until you know what the hell you're talking about. Clarity. Ukraine is struggling, like many of the other Warsaw Pact countries along the eastern corridor in Europe. They're trying to be democratic. They're trying to get free of corruption. They are trying to be a player on this side, not on the autocratic communist side. It's not even communism anymore, but it's still autocracy with Vladimir Putin. They need that money. They need that aid. For us, what is our national interest? It is in our interest to see more free and democratic countries evolve and develop and become a player on the world stage. They become partners with us. And last I checked, it's better to have more friends than it is enemies. Last I checked. We want Ukraine free. We want Ukraine democratic. We don't want to take advantage of Ukraine and get them to believe that what they left is only going to be traded for another power taking advantage of them. And what was the what? The quid and the quo? financial assistance, 400 plus million. You can quibble about the words, and I really don't give a damn what you say or do. It's a fact. They did it. You don't need to convince me. I know what they did. It's in evidence. They held, the executive branch held the foreign assistance, money and military power until the president got on the line and asked for dirt on Joe Biden and his son. In addition, in the text message that came out over the last few days, they told them explicitly, your White House visit, meaning President Zelensky's visit to the United States, to visit the White House, to go state visit, look cool, be invited into the democracy, a wealth of nations, of good countries they want to be a part of. They want to be a democracy. They want to be free. Hey, you got to take care of this before you get the visit. That quite literally is a quid and a quo, a what for what. In addition to $400 million of taxpayer money, by the way, that was leveraged to get political information on Joe Biden and his son. That is a quid and a quo. The lawyers can haggle it out. I know the snuff test. It's simple. It is a quid and a quo. And again, the president admitted on TV that he did do that. So let's run that for a second, because the president has told us more than a few times of what he believes in terms of using his office as president to get what he wants. Notice how, and I stipulate in air quotes, what he wants. Let's run that first one, KP.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
We all know that one because it's been played. And at the time, it seemed like a joke. I think we all know that mounting evidence and items is no longer a joke. It's happening. This was before he got into office, inviting Russians to help find emails to help damage his opponent. He did that on air. And a lot of you laughed about it, thought it was funny, like, did he really do that? Yeah, he did do that. He did do that. Second one, KP, or third in this line.
Information. I think I'd take it.
I can't hear it.
Your campaign this time around, if foreigners, if Russia, if China, if someone else offers you information on an opponent, should they accept it or should they call the FBI?
I think maybe you do both. I think you might want to listen. There's nothing wrong with listening. If somebody called from a country, Norway, we have information on your opponent. Oh, I think I'd want to hear it.
You want that kind of interference in our elections?
It's not an interference. They have information. I think I'd take it if I thought.
Thank you. Okay, that is his interview with George Stephanopoulos. And again, he said, he admitted that he would take information, information from a foreign power to help him in his election, because he just said it's Oppo research. The gravity, of it is still staggering to me. The president, and I'll just say it blatantly, the president clearly doesn't understand our history. The president, extremely unlikely that he has ever read Alexander Hamilton, Federalist Papers 65 and a bit of 66. And he clearly doesn't understand the Madisonian, James Madison, one of our presidents of the United States, the fourth, doesn't understand or comprehend the gravity of not wanting and warning of foreign entanglements and interference in our democracy. Because he's just said it. These are his words, not mine. And for good measure, one was right prior to the election. George Stephanopoulos' interview was earlier this year. And for good measure, let's do another one now. Just give me that last one, KP.
If they were honest about it, they'd start a major investigation into the Bidens. It's a very simple answer. And by the way, likewise, China should start an investigation into the Bidens. Because what happened in China is just about as bad as what happened with Ukraine. So I would say that President Zelensky, if it were me, I would recommend that they start an investigation into the Bidens, because.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, out of the mouths of babes, and in this case, out of the mouths of the politicians. They said it. I played you a clip, and you can run back later and see this for yourself. Mike Pence stipulates explicitly that it is not just not okay, it's wrong to accept assistance from a foreign government to interfere or involve themselves in our democratic process, in our elections. It's not okay. And the president, on more than one occasion, has not only said that he would, but he welcomes it on more than one occasion. Okay? The issue stands, and I'm gonna wrap. I've got so much information, ladies and gentlemen. I've literally, for the last 2 weeks, and my wife and my daughter will confirm, the last 2 weeks have literally been all about understanding and getting a comprehensive view of what I'm seeing happen to my damn democracy. Because I won't run my mouth and I won't open it unless I know what I'm talking about. So much so that I didn't even touch this subject for the last 2 weeks because I wanted to listen to Fox News, I wanted to listen to MSNBC, CNN, One America, BBC, Sky. I listen to everything, left, right, center, all over the place. And then I make my own decisions. I have a mind, a strong mind that has the ability. Strong doesn't always just mean intellectual, this or that, okay? Strong means the ability to focus and hold right and wrong and keep it on that. And that's what I've been doing. And now this show is the result of nearly 2 weeks, roughly 2 weeks of internalizing, analyzing, synthesizing volumes and volumes and volumes of information from left, right, center, and everywhere else. And here we are. And here we are. So out of the president's mouth, out of the vice president's mouth, we have, these items. I actually stated a while ago on air, it might not have made some of you happy, one way or the other, but I did state that I was not happy with either the Republican Party or the Democratic Party. Both. Why? I said Republicans are weak. This was a show about 3 months ago. The Republican Party is weak because they are complicit and they will not raise their voice. Therefore, they are culpable. And the acts of commission, allowing things to happen that are wrong. They are weak. And then I said the Democrats are weak because they are also complicit and culpable if they do nothing as well. And they didn't. And they didn't. I read 448 pages of a document. I'm going to read it again. Because many of the things that are outlined and detailed with specificity in the Mueller investigation, 448 pages, are actually going on right now. He did warn you all that Russia is still continuing to meddle in our election. One thing I got just last night, I think it was one of the tech giants, I want to say Facebook, that found Iran. Now stay with me now. I'm going to wrap up here, okay? But stay with me. This is a very, very heavy, and it's one you're going to have to go back and listen to again. Iran has done, Iranian hackers have made over 2,700, you heard me right, 2,700 attempts to hack President Trump's and other 2020 campaigns and other candidates, other politicians in the United States. 2,700 attempts to hack into campaigns and individual politicians. That's going on right now. Right now. Robert Mueller, whether you like him or not, brought that forward in a scholarly and legitimate fashion. And you didn't like him or you liked him based on your political side. And I'm going to say that's stupid. Read the information, take evidence, and then make decision. He outlined all of this. He pointed out all of this. It's happening. It's going on right now. The layman's terms from the little kid that grew up on the street. Here you go, America, for the little kid that grew up on the street. Russia bitch slapped us. And we stood still and wanted to know why he did that. Nah, why did they do that to us? Let me help you out for those of you out there that are good people or nice people or people that don't give a damn, by the way. Some of you are that. Or you're political and you stay with your side. If someone walks up and bitch slaps you, don't ask them why. You want to know why? Because by the time you turn around to ask them why, the second hand's coming on the other side. And you'll take another shot. That's going on right now. Wake the hell up. Stand up for your damn democracy. That's current. Lastly, one more piece of my scholarly work and my evidence. There is such a thing as a Federal Elections Commission. There are such things as laws and federal statutes that we are not supposed to violate. We are not supposed to break. This was put out, and this is submitted for the record, that it is illegal to solicit foreign help, foreign interference into our elections. That's law. You can quibble about what the president said, but it is law, damn it. It is law. And I would love for one of you to come and sit with me, not on Facebook, not in messages, because that's garbage and you know it. You can hide behind your damn keyboard, a keyboard warrior. I would talk to you directly. Directly. And that way you look me in the eye and have to tell me the damn truth. Let's pull that up, KP, that last bit. This, ladies and gentlemen, is from Ellen Weintraub. She is the Federal Elections Commission Chair for the United States. That means she is in charge of making sure that all elections in this country are fair and legal. The Federal Elections Commission. This is her statement that she put out on June 13th and reposted just a few days ago. Let me make something 100% clear to American public, to the American public, and anyone running for public office. This is really simple, ladies and gentlemen. It is illegal for any person to solicit, accept, or receive anything of value from a foreign national in connection with a U.S. election. This is not a novel concept. Electoral intervention from foreign governments has been considered unacceptable since the beginnings of our nation, sorry, getting a little heated here. Our founding fathers sounded the alarm about foreign interference, intrigue, and influence. They knew that when foreign governments seek to influence American politics, it is always to advance their own interest, not America's. Anyone, I repeat, anyone who solicits or accepts foreign assistance risks being on the wrong end of a federal investigation. Any political campaign that receives an offer of prohibited donation from a foreign source should report that offer to the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Quote, go ahead and take it. Go ahead and take it. Okay, so I'm going to say it again. It is against the law, ladies and gentlemen. It is against the law. The president has admitted to it. His people, the people that believe he can do no wrong and are with him no matter what, hey, listen, you're American, you have your right to do that, but I'm going to point it out. It is against the law to do what he has done. You can quibble about the words, oh, but what thing of value? A White House visit is of value to a foreign country and to ours. It costs money to host another foreign nation. That's a monetary value. You understand? Let's make it clear here. Because those of you guys that want to find this a way out of this, to wiggle out, you're wrong and you know it. And you bring discredit and shame on yourselves for trying to. Don't bring it to this house. That weak sauce goes out the door. I eat jalapenos, homeboy. I don't do that garbage. In addition, solicit of value is illegal under our federal statute of interference in foreign meddling in our election. That's fact. Those are laws. They were done. Things were done. They were admitted to. What more do you need? You really don't. I don't. I've seen enough. I've seen more than enough. I've seen more than enough for quite a while, by the way. But let's make sure we're absolutely clear here. The president can probably get away with a little bit of this. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm not even getting to the impeachment. Notice I haven't said it the whole time. Not even mentioned the word once. He can probably get away with it because Violation of a federal statute means the executive branch has to execute the laws. Guess who's in charge of the laws? The President of the United States. See how that works? You want to talk about third world countries and banana republics? We're kind of living in one right now. You heard what I said. Very few people care more about this country than I do, and I don't like wearing that on my shoulder because I believe that a lot of people love this country. I do too. And I would kill for it. I'd die for it. It was done. It has been done. And now we're at a crossroads where what do we do if the person who is charged under Article 2 of the Constitution with executing our laws, making sure our laws are enforced, are actively breaking those laws themselves? What do? We literally out here, like personally, can't do anything, but the Congress has to do something. The Congress has to do something. They're constitutionally sanctioned to do so. It is their job. That is why they're elected. It is in Article 1 of the Constitution. That is what they're supposed to do. If they do nothing, then you can write this whole thing off because the 243-year experiment is probably done and we are now on the downside. And we'll still be strong. We still have more nukes. We still have the best military on the planet. We still have all kinds of great things. But make no mistake, we would definitely be on the decline. You can quote me on that. We would be on the decline the minute our laws no longer matter because the person executing and responsible for enforcing the laws actively breaks them himself. That's what you're charged with. So what can we do? Well, we can write to our congressman. You guys know the deal, right? Or we can chatter about it. We can put it on air. We can talk about it. We can say that's not okay. We can say, hey, Donald Trump, I voted for you because you were going to come in and change things up, shake things up, and you did. But now you're breaking everything, and that's not okay. Let me get a different Republican that will maybe shake some things up, but not break every damn thing in the process. Shaking things up is not a bad thing. I'll be the first to say that. Hell, I do that. But I don't break every damn thing there is, and I sure as hell don't break every damn thing to benefit myself. And I've got a lifetime of living and evidence to prove that fact, so I can make that statement. You have the facts, you have the information, you have nuts and bolts, you have meat and potatoes. Ellen Weintraub, chair of the Federal Elections Commission, stated again, that was June, and she posted it again because it has been done. The law has been broken. You can quibble about it, you can cry about it, you can make excuses for it, but you know it's taking place. Now it's on you. Stay with what you got, right? So let me be absolutely clear and unequivocal in stating, I really don't give two shakes of a shit about Donald Trump. I don't. He is a spoiled little rich kid who leverages B-list celebrity and populist frustration on the part of regular Americans to sit behind the resolute desk. What I care about, and if that hurts you one way or the other, then so be it, but what I care about is the office of the presidency and the Constitution, more than any one individual. The office and the Constitution are more important than any one individual. And any of you that like to have that argument, let's do it. I'd be happy to do that. I would love to have that argument. Golden rule in my house, don't argue points you can't win. Don't argue points you can't win. Don't say something you know is wrong because you're going to get eaten up. We don't argue points we can't win. The office and the Constitution of these United States, which I've personally given my life to in the form of an oath that I swore as an 18-year-old American. That's where I'm at. The president does not believe we have an election security and safe election problem. And this is where I have a major issue. He has stated openly that he does not believe that Russia interfered in our election. He sided and took the side of Vladimir Putin over his own people, his fellow Americans in intelligence and CIA, FBI, and all of them. And he believes Vladimir Putin before he believes fellow Americans. That Russia did not interfere in our election, and we know they did. So not only is he lying, but he's complicit with a foreign power. See where I'm going? He sided with Vladimir Putin against his own people. He sided with Putin against his fellow Americans on the national security of our elections. Notice how I said national security. Ladies and gentlemen, if we cannot understand that how we elect our leaders is one of the most important things that we'll ever do as Americans, if we cannot understand that, then you have a problem. He has already stated that he sides with the Russians, that they didn't do anything. And when you tell that to people, you get Iran, which is happening right now. This happened over the last few days. Iran. Now he's asked Ukraine, and it's in the record, and he stated it, and he said it, and he admitted to it. And he went out on the White House lawn a few days ago and said, China, you too. Hey, come on in. Everybody. Why not, right? The minute that we went that route, the minute we went that road, some of us anyway, where we made it okay for foreign governments and foreign powers, foreign nationals, to interfere in our electoral process, then we've gone down a road that we may never come back from. Because it'll never stop. It's not going to stop. We will not have the ability to elect our own leaders. And we might as well not even be a damn country. You heard what I said. I'll remind you that the Founding Fathers warned us explicitly about foreign entanglements and foreign interference, not just in our elections, but in our foreign policy. We are at that time right now. We are at that point in history. I recognize it. I hope you do too. I honestly do. Because I will not accept, I will not be complicit, and I will not run with the flock or the herd of sheep that excuses the damn behavior. So for the record, and I've already actually said this, I knew it after I had completed reading 448 pages of the investigation. I knew that he was not going to stop, that he's going to do it again. And he's going to do it again. I think all of you guys know that. Even the people that support Donald Trump the most. You know he's going to do it. You know he's going to do it. But you'll accept it because he's your side. Let me be crystal clear here. The minute you acknowledge that and it dawns on you, cognitively, intellectually, it dawns on you that you are choosing a side, then you are no longer on the American side. Because anything that undermines our democracy and our ability to choose our own leaders, the very concept of which was groundbreaking and historic in concept when we set up our body of governance, the Constitution, and our revolution to independence in 1776. Knowing that, if you are still okay with accepting the behavior and choose a side, then you are no longer on the American side. Because I'm going to say this in as profound and as unequivocal as I can possibly be. It is un-American to ask other people, other countries, other foreign powers, other foreign governments to come into our house and interfere with our business, our elections, our method of choosing a leader. That's un-American. I didn't say treason. I don't use words like coup, which is stupid, by the way. Coup is a hyperbolized term to try to make you sound or get you a little angry. We don't do coups here, at least not yet anyway, I hope. I didn't use treason because that is a wartime and a war term. This president does not understand that because he's never served. He wouldn't know what the hell it means. And that's why he's so eager to toss about the damn terms about others. Know your damn history, Mr. President. I charge you with that. Know your damn history. In closing, I've said plenty. You have plenty of meat here. You understand where I'm at. If I lose some of you because I've offended you or it hurts, I charge you with running back and listening to everything I said and find where I'm wrong, because I've chosen my words and my intent very, very carefully after internalizing, analyzing, synthesizing volumes of information over the last 2 weeks. 448 pages of the Mueller investigation, 9 pages of a whistleblower complaint that is now confirmed, corroborated, and verified, another 25, I believe, in text messages by government officials confirming what the initial whistleblower complaint brought forward. I've got my facts and I've got my information. I don't run with the headline that I see across my feed and I put it out there because it sounds good or because I want to believe it. Find where I'm wrong. And I'd love to have that conversation with you, if you're so inclined. For any of you others, I'm not hard to get a hold of. You know where I'm at. You know where I can be found. You can message me. I respond to everybody. I talk to everybody if you choose to do so. I'm on the record right now. If nothing is done for the president putting his hand in the cookie jar over and over and over and over again, and if you're a parent and you've had kids, you know what I'm talking about. He's going to keep doing it. He'll continue to do it. And he's going to keep doing it until this damn country is whored out to every other damn country on this planet. I won't sit idly by. I will say something and I will do what I can. I know what I'm going to do. I will not sit by. He is whoring this country out for personal political gain. That's it. Even if it wasn't illegal, and it is, even if it wasn't illegal, that's what you should focus on. He is prostituting our national security, our foreign policy, for personal political gain. Read Alexander Hamilton, Federalist 65 and a little bit of 66. Read James Madison, know James Madison, read your Constitution. Read more about what the Founding Fathers talked about in scope about foreign interference, foreign influence, and foreign entanglements. And you will know what they thought of what's going on right now, because right now they're rolling over in their damn graves. They'd like to get up like this was zombie land and eat somebody up because they cannot believe that this is going on and we're allowing it. A republic, madam, if you can keep it, according to Benjamin Franklin when he was asked, what government did you give us, sir? From a lady who was walking the street in Philadelphia while the Constitutional Convention was going on. A republic, madam, if you can keep it. We're on the hook now. We're charged with being able to keep it. It's on us. We can't blame them anymore. We can't wait for them. They're too old to get out of their damn graves. It's on us. It's our responsibility to do something about it. So I'm beyond, if we don't do something to the president, if you don't impeach the president right now, not only will he continue to do what he's doing, but now we've made it acceptable for every president that comes after him to do the same damn thing. Because it'll be precedent set. On record. It's done. We accepted it. And every president going forward can do the same damn thing. In which case, I'm going to say again and for the last time, then we no longer have our democracy. Our 243-year experiment will be on the decline. And my son and daughter will see the bad end to it. Maybe not me, maybe not some of you that are older than me, but they'll see the bad end to it. I've given you plenty. I hope you read. I hope you sift through the information. I hope you separate fact from fiction. I hope you're honest with yourself. I hope you put your Constitution and your country before your damn party. I hope you place your loyalty in our ideals, not our individuals. You can never go wrong in that road. That's what I'm hoping you do. And ladies and gentlemen, ultimately, read. Read. Just read. And you'll know the difference. You will know the difference. I'm off air. I will be back next Sunday and we'll see how this goes forward. I'm hoping it gets better, but I have a sneaking suspicion, ladies and gentlemen, it's only going to get worse. At least here, I will separate fact from fiction. At least here, I will be level-headed and fair. And at least here, I will call out wrong at the highest levels no matter what. You have a great rest of your Sunday evening. I'll be back for Friday, Tag That Track. I'm sure some of you want to come back for that because I will not be talking about politics or our foreign policy on the Friday nights. But I will roll back on next Sunday and we will have a heady discussion. And I'll shorten the format because this one's the biggest. But I'm going to skew down to about a 30, 45-minute format where we run, and I give you meat and potatoes and you move on. And then there's your easy Sunday night. Other than that, thank you for spending your Sunday night with me. Thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me your time and your energy and your effort. Please like. I don't even give a damn about the like so much. But please share. Please share. Because good, quality, honest information is really, really critical right now. It's really critical right now. Listen to it and share it. That's what I ask. More people informed mean we have a greater likelihood to preserve our own damn republic. Again, if we can keep it. We have to keep it. A politician or a president isn't going to keep it for us. That's obvious now. We have to keep it. That's my show for tonight. I'll be back again next Friday. None but love for you. I'll try to get to the comments tonight. But other than that, have a great rest of your Sunday night, and I will see you later this coming week.